all of a sudden it's the Niners defense that needs fixing, that has issues, that is the problem. 34 points last week against the Raiders was surprising. I think most people thought they'd give up like 9. What is the adjustment DeMeco Ryans needs to make to get this defense back to playing like the number 1 defense in the league?
Well, I think they took him lightly. That's first and foremost. I just think it's human nature. You can't be up for every game. And I don't think they were up for this game. In the first half, Raiders ran for 5.2 yards per carry. The 49ers had 0 sacks, but only 2 pressures in the first half. They had 7 in the second half. Mm-hmm. So Shanahan referenced it after the game. The defensive front, this whole defense, it's the league's fastest linebackers. It's the league's best front, I think, deepest front and best coordinated front. The secondary is it's not a liability, but it's not the strength of the defense now that Mosley's out. So I would say that, it's all about getting more pressure up front. Yeah. Your coverage is your coverage. You're going with Lenore. We can talk about, Lenore could be picked. He's your guy. Instead of tearing him down, build him up because he's your guy. Build up Womack. Build up Charvarius. These are your guys, and they're all smart players. They're playing well, but it's all predicated on what gets done up front. So they got to get more heat on the quarterback. That may be meaning more games. I'll tell you one guy. We haven't seen any Kalia Davis. We haven't seen Givens come back. Givens is an important interior rusher. Kalia Davis, maybe you take a look at him in this Arizona game to see if he can help you out. But anything at all that you can do to get more rush up front, you got to do it because that's how the Niners are going to win. They got to put heat on the quarterback.
Yeah, I think DeMeco relies on his front four, that 4-man pass rush a little too much. I think it's easy to look good as a defensive coordinator when you're getting pressure with 4. Everything you do works when you get pressure with 4. But in this last game, they didn't. They didn't sack Jared Stidham one time. And I think when he called blitzes, it seemed to be effective. The blitz he called with Diamador Lenore, that was effective. I think he needs to bring more pressure. You can't – there's nothing – I mean, if you're not getting pressure on the quarterback, man coverage isn't going to work. Zone coverage isn't going to work. There's no right answer. And so you can't just hang back and be like, well, I'm going to live and die by Nick Bosa and the other 3 guys. No, bring pressure. And the nice thing about bringing 5 is it's harder to scramble against a 5-man rush because with a 4-man rush, there's always one gap. 5 blockers, 4 rushers, there's always one gap that a quarterback can run through. Not so if there's a 5th rusher and they're all in their lane. So
here's the thing. If you bring 5 or 6, you're giving the quarterback a defined look. You cannot give Rodgers a defined look. He'll carve you. So the key, I think, with Rodgers is bring 5, bring 6, bring 4, bring 3, mix it up.
Mix it up.
All kinds of games, all kinds of movement. Make their offensive linemen's heads spin. Make them communicate. I'd have all kinds of crazy overload.
Yeah, the games and stunts are a good way to create pressure without bringing extra rushers. Fangio showed that 10 years ago.
Yeah. And then even delayed blitzes from the backers.
Yeah.
If Rodgers is going to where Rodgers is dangerous is he has a little bit what Purdy has. He's got that pocket ability. He's not fast, but he's got pocket ability to move, and he knows where to move and where his receivers are. That's where you need to send the Greenlaws and the Warners on these delayed blitzes to make him pressured on his off that second launch point. So I don't know. It's going to be a kitchen sink day. DeMeco's going to have to cook up every possible wrinkle he has to disrupt Rodgers' rhythm because Rodgers is going to roll in rhythm.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. That's going to be very interesting. And it seems like if DeMeco Ryans can do it, if he can make the adjustments and get this defense playing at an elite level in the playoffs, he'll become a head coach next year. If not, he'll probably have to come back one more year and prove it again.
I think he's going to get a gig. I do because I've seen the list. I've seen like 5 or 6 lists, and it seems like he's like the second or third name on almost every list. So his star has gotten to a point where I think you're right. They're going to need to have a big defensive effort. If they do show one in the playoffs, I think he gets a gig.